Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanya. I haven't done a video like this in many months, and I was actually hoping to do a bag collection video too, but I kept putting that off because I wanted to show you this particular piece, which I had been thinking about buying for quite a few months. So let me get onto it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this bag. I sort of am leaning more towards yes, but just for full transparency, I'm starting to think that potentially I might send it back or put forward another option to the provider, the seller that I used. And I'll explain why as I move along. So thank you for coming back to my channel. Those of you who've stuck with me for quite a while, I appreciate your support and your loyalty. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing if you like my content. Let's get on to the unboxing. Well, the reveal really. I have here a box from, yes, Matches Fashion. This is my first purchase from Matches. I did request the special packaging because I always wanted a box from Matches. I don't know why. This one is in the sort of the grey and a little bit of antique gold. Looks a little bit like a riverbed, you know. Whenever I see these boxes, I always think of either mold with the green one, but anyway, or something like this. To me makes me think of a whole lot of different pebbles at the bottom of a riverbed. But anyway, whatever. It's not about the packaging. This is officially a reveal simply because I had already filmed this yesterday, the first time, which was the authentic, true to life, you know, live unboxing. When I played it back, I looked disgusting and I couldn't handle it. And I know that sounds really superficial of me. I know, but you know, if you're going to put yourself out there, you want to look all right. So anyway, whatever. And inside the box there, you've got your, you know, the usual Matches Fashion Bizzo. It's interesting that it came to me already split. So here, it's split there and there. Thanks, Matches. You know, I must admit, it's not a great first purchase. I have to be honest. I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm not sure if it's a Matches problem or a problem of the bag company. You know what I mean? Anyway, the bag was wrapped up in this sort of butcher paper-like covering, and it's got the sticker there, Matches Fashion. And of course, it came with the receipt and all the doobie whackers and all the usual bits and bobs. And then this is the dust bag that the bag came in. And obviously the brand that I went with is APC. Now APC is a French brand, and it is very much in the realm of mid-range luxury. It's not, you know, lower end or high street luxury, but it's certainly not what a lot of other brands are that we tend to watch videos about and buy and all the rest of it. So let me show you the bag because that's what you're here for. The bag that I went with is the APC Small Grace bag. This is not a purchase that I made because I needed the bag. I just didn't have this particular color in my collection. I've always loved the Celine Classic Flap, always loved it, but I've watched so many reviews about it, and the one in particular that really stood out to me was Kat L's review from a long time ago. I'll link it below. And she talked about the inconvenience of opening that bag because you sort of like need to push the lower part of the little clasp there so that it pops open, and then you pull up the flap, and then sort of the bag pops open. And I thought, no, I didn't want that issue, but I love that bag, and nor do I want to spend all those thousands of dollars on that bag. I was looking around, and I know there have been many videos out lately about quiet luxury and mid-range luxury and some other brands out there that, you know, Hello Catwalk City showed, and there's one in particular that also looks like the Celine Classic Flap, or the box bag. We've all called it the box bag for years because of the box leather. Anyway, I decided to go with the APC. Now, when it arrived, you're not going to see it now so much, but in the very first video that I did, which, you know, I no longer have, I noticed that when I peeled back some of the plastic, that there were some very fine scratches, hairline scratches on the gold. If you can probably see one just there, and there are a few at the bottom here. Now, you're not going to see them, of course, because it's so reflective, but I could see them. There were also fingerprints and marks and stuff like that on there. So obviously that tells me that potentially this bag may have been purchased and returned. I don't know if Matches has like a storefront premises. I don't know if just been handled with fingerprints and so on. I don't know. So that was one little disappointment. The other disappointment that I felt when I looked at this bag and showed this bag is in regards to what's on the back. Now, you know, I really feel it. I feel the disappointment simply because I think to myself, I haven't bought a bag in so long, and I wanted this to be perfect, and it's not. For that reason, I'm considering sending it back or contacting Matches and requesting maybe a little bit more of a discount, because to be honest, I can't be bothered sending it back. It means the effort, the time, the rigmarole, the jumping through hoops, can't be stuffed. But at the same time, although this bag was under $1,000, it doesn't matter, because anything you buy, no matter what the price, you would expect it to be as close to perfect as possible, especially for these type of items. I noticed that when I turned it over at the back, there's an indentation here. Now, I know you can see it. It's quite clear. It's there. It's almost as if this was resting up against something. Now, is that because of Matches Fashion and the way they store their bags? Or is that because of APC? I genuinely don't know. But I went through Matches, so obviously my, point of contact will be Matches Fashion. Having said that, though, I do like the bag. The bag is lovely. But there are a couple of things about it that annoy me already, and I haven't even used it. First world problems. Anyway, it's an interesting leather. So if you see here, it's sort of, it feels durable. It feels very smooth and firm. It's not a supple leather. It's not a grained leather. It is leather though, but it's got like, it's like somehow been tanned in a way, maybe to offer more durability and protection. I'm not sure, but you get the impression it won't scratch easily. So it's got the logo here, APC Rue Madame Paris. They're a company that's been around since about the 1970s, so they're still relatively young in terms of being a handbag company and providing leather goods and so on. They do clothing and footwear as well. And I've had my eye on APC for quite some time. So the way this bag opens, you'll have seen me just do it. It just pops open like that. And here is the other part of the closure with two ball bearings, one on either side there of that gap that this obviously pops into, and you can see there it's got the little indentation so that the ball can fit in there. And when you open the bag, it is this lovely suede. It's not uber soft, but it's not rough. I don't like when bags have that rough suede finish on the inside. The orientation of the bag is like this. Now, I tend not to go for these accordion type bags, and I find these two, the front and the back pocket, virtually useless in my opinion, because being so thin here, I mean, I've currently got my hand in here, it's not even going to stretch out. So it does have a similar orientation, obviously, to the Celine box bag and to the Pochette Métis. It's got the middle compartment, that's the largest one, and that's obviously where I would be putting most of my things. And then these ones here, I probably would put maybe a receipt or a card or a ticket or maybe something that I need to keep separate from the rest of the front, but needs to be slim at the same time. Bag itself inside is like a caramel colored linen, like a brown linen, if you can see that. And there is a little leather plaque stitched in there, and it says just APC. It's a nice size. There is no back pocket. Obviously, with the opening and closing, there's going to be creasing happening on the back flap. You can already see where potentially it may start to show, but that's the nature of the beast with these particular bags. No back pocket, no feet, but it does have a nice feature, and that feature is that coming down from the square strap holder, there is a continuation of an extra piece of leather that comes round that acts almost as a further support to the bag. So this bag is quite structured, like you can't squish it. It's quite firm. And there is glazing all along. So along this sort of back thin pocket, along the front one, along the edge of the flap as well, and along the edge of the strap. Now, speaking of the strap, as you can see, it is not detachable and it doesn't have the swivel, which is uber annoying, because already a few times I've sort of maneuvered it and you get this type of thing happening, and it's a type of thing that if you happen to position it wrong, it stays like that for a while. So I don't know if that will impact the glazing. I'm not sure, but I do wish that it had the swivel function on it already. In terms of adjustability, it only has 2 adjustments. So this here is set at the crossbody, and I'll show you what that looks like on me. For reference, I'm 5'2.5". I won't tell you my weight, but I'm an Australian size 12, sometimes 14. Sometimes I can squeeze into my size 10s. Pains me to say that I used to be a size 8, but anyway, whatevs. This is what the bag looks like on me. So it is right at my hip. So it sits right at my hip here. Now, when people overseas talk about hips, they sometimes talk about this part, but I don't know, they're like your flanks, aren't they? That's the outer thigh. Hips for us, and here in Australia, when we refer to hips, this is what we refer to, this part here. So the bag sits very much at my hip, and I can't make it any longer. You just can't, because of the nature, the double nature of the strap, that even if you were to have another hole put in elsewhere for that rivet to pop through, you'd have the extra flap, like the extra length of the flap sticking out, and it would just look terrible. So that's what the bag looks like as a crossbody on me for my height. I'm happy with that. I don't mind a shorter crossbody. I don't like it when the crossbodies are really long and they're like down here at, you know, groin level. I don't like that. Now, to actually adjust the strap, it is this rivet and, you know, little hole setup. I don't know. Clearly, because it's new, it's all still quite stiff. So I am attempting to do this without damaging the bag, just in case I send it back. So stretch it like that. And there are a few Louis Vuitton bags that have this type of setup. So now that is the bag. There's a little keeper here. I don't know what you'd use it for because it doesn't do much, but there's a little keeper there. That's what the bag looks like as a shoulder bag. And again, on me, it sort of reaches just a little bit higher than where it did as a crossbody, because as a crossbody it was like sort of here. But as a shoulder bag, it's quite nice. I probably would wear it more as a shoulder, except I don't know what it is, but bags, shoulder bags on me have a tendency to slip off. I don't know. We'll see. So this is my latest acquisition. Let me adjust you. This is my latest acquisition to my handbag collection. Let me know what you would do about the fine scratches. I think I could probably overlook that. This sticker's driving me crazy. But it's this that gets me the most. Yeah, you can really see it. Do I just turn a blind eye to it? Or do I contact them and say to them that it's faulty? But then they may say that they may offer an exchange. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. The best price that I could find for this bag was on Matches, hence the purchase through Matches. This is the small size. There is a mini, which is about 4 centimeters shorter, so it's like more like that and more square, smaller and square. And I'm glad I didn't get that, because although it was about 100 or so less, I wouldn't have been able to use it much. And then there's a large, which is the next size above this. The most average retail price I've seen for this bag varies anywhere from $800 to just under $1,000. I picked this up for $750-ish, I think, from memory, from Matches Fashion. Then they had a discount code for your first purchase through the app, which was new15. I plugged that in at the checkout and it removed essentially $100 and odd. I ended up paying, the bag was reduced to $620. Then there was a $30 shipping fee. So the bag cost me in total $653. Given that it's under $1,000 and it's a decent bag, I think it's calf leather. It's well made. I mean, the stitching is the same color as the leather itself. It's got that nice, it's got that beautiful, quiet luxury, subtle luxury look about it, which I quite like. I'm not sure if I'm going to love the fixed structuredness about it. But in terms of what I carry, it would be sufficient. And I imagine that if I'm putting some things in here in the back pocket, this probably will resolve itself. We'll see. That is the latest bag in my collection. Let me know what you think. Does anyone else have an APC bag? What are your thoughts on the quality, on its functionality, the versatility, wear and tear? let me know. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say if you have a bag. And as always, I look forward to reading your comments. So take care, everybody. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.